This weather is about to get turbulent as we head into the first week of December. If we take a look at the last 30 years where we typically see severe weather for your first week in December, we find ourselves down here towards the Dixie Alley region. This is the same region that actually saw severe weather tornadoes just about a week or so ago. And unfortunately, the dynamics are starting to come together. We may have to be dealing with similar type setup as we head into that first week in December. But right now, we're not talking about severe weather. We're talking about some very cold weather as we're still dealing with the very Arctic blast that went through with some of the coldest temperatures we've seen so far this season, as well below average temperature anomalies will plunge all the way down into the deep south with 10 to 15 degrees below average all the way down into the deep south and much of the southeast. So if you are new to the channel and like detailed weather breakdowns, hit the subscribe button. This is my second Ultra channel, Pal Ponder Ultra. I'll be doing more updates, likely 2 to 3 updates a week going forward on this channel. So if you hadn't subscribed already, please do so and follow all my content. So let's take a look at the snowfall. This is that snowstorm we were talking about for like 10 days out. It came to fruition in a big way as a blanket of heavy snow went across the Intermountain West, dove all the way down into New Mexico. Even the Texas Panhandle actually saw some snow, even portions of the western Oklahoma Panhandle. And then it actually swung up towards Missouri, all the way up into Illinois this morning with all that heavier snows that unfolded. And it's still cranking and then actually going to be turned into more of a lake effect type snows as we head into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. And as we head into next week, there are your morning temperatures going into that Wednesday time frame. This is what I refer to as transition day. We're coming out of the colder push of the Arctic air plunging in from the north with that north wind. So we'll do what they call bottom out and lower those temperatures and kind of maximize all the way down into the southeast with those pretty much the entire state of Georgia below freezing by then. But look at the warm notch as already starting to come to fruition back here into Texas and to Louisiana and to Arkansas. That will be the beginning stages of a warm up as we head into the middle of next week. And as we warm up, we'll continue to warm up in a big way. And so we go into that first week into December. Yeah, it's going to look completely the opposite of what you're going to be feeling overall for the next couple of days as those temperatures rapidly warm up by the time we head into that Thursday, Friday, into next weekend time frame, especially down towards the southeast. But all eyes will be turning out west as we'll have a trough that's going to be coming in off the west coast. Now those areas across southern portions of California, we'll start seeing those below chillier temperatures down there in San Diego, swing across the Phoenix region, and likely more snow into places like into Flagstaff and places like into Santa Fe, New Mexico. They'll be getting back into the snow by the time we head into early part of next week. And here is the rainfall, and the subtropical jet stream is going to be starting to become or active, and that places the well above average precipitation anomalies down there in the deep south, and especially within that warm sector, the most favored area to see the stronger storms and severe weather are likely east of the I-35 corridor into the Louisiana region. Does include all the way up into Kentucky and points southbound into the southeast, as well as into Georgia and the Florida Panhandle, and even as far north as the Midwest. We'll start to see some heavier rains as we head into, the middle of next week. It's all complements of this trough that's going to be coming back into play. Remember, Alaska was so warm for a while now. Now it's going to be completely the opposite again. We're going to have this pretty significant trough that's going to be building across the northwest. That's going to be diving down towards the south. That's going to be tapping into that subtropical jet and pulling that trough across from west to east. That was the reason why it's going to bring those below average temperature anomalies across this region. And as it taps into the warm sector and takes advantage of some of this Gulf of Mexico moisture down here, that will set the stage for likely more strong to severe thunderstorms by the time we head into that Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening time frame. So here's the setup on the surface map on the last day of November. Yeah, we're watching this trough come across the west. Likely some more heavier snows are going to be unfolding across portions of New Mexico, and then going into the evening time frame on Thursday, as this trough will get a little bit closer, it'll tap into that warm sector, have the elevated lift associated with it to need to produce the overturn the atmosphere. And that's when we'll see some of these strong to possibly severe thunderstorms break out across East Texas, into Louisiana, back into Arkansas. That will eventually head into Mississippi timeframe, going into the overnight hours. And so here's the setup on the overall simulated water vapor. Kind of implies the same thing. The greatest lift is essentially likely east of the I-35 corridor. So we should see numerous showers and thunderstorms kind of blow up. And this is where the lightning displays. So we've got a lot of hints and saying, hey, all the pieces of the puzzle are already starting to come together and say, this is the area that we need to keep our eye on, because these definitely could be severe, not only hail producers, but some of these could be tornadic producers as we head into that Thursday afternoon, evening time frame. And going into Saturday, we'll have continued short waves coming off the more active El Nino type setup. That'll be coming across the subtropical jet, tapping into this warm sector down here towards Dixie Alley. Not only will you get the elevated rains, but some of this will be mixed in with strong to severe thunderstorms, even going into that Friday and Saturday time frame. So it looks pretty turbulent, especially Thursday, Friday, and Saturday heading into next week. And look at the temperatures, folks. I mean, it's going to be completely the opposite down here with this in this corridor. Everything just kind of congeals together, and you've got some well above average anomalies down there in the deep south and into the southeast there, from Louisiana all the way up to portions of Kentucky, and then points southward does include a good part of the Carolinas. And it really gets amplified going into Sunday. I mean, this is crazy warm how high these temperature anomalies are. You're talking the same places that we're going to be freezing for the next couple of mornings, especially on Wednesday. And then by Saturday going into Sunday morning, gosh, look at that, well into the 60s, if not mid to upper 60s. And a lot of these areas across Louisiana into Mississippi and to Alabama, back into Georgia, this is plenty warm to fuel severe storms. You typically only need like a 55-degree dew point. These are going to be elevated into the low 60s by then. So there's going to be plenty of warm, moist air to be able to tap into to produce those showers and thunderstorms and the severe storms that will likely unfold. So if we set the stage for the next 7 days, what we're going to find is all eyes will be turning out west. So we're going to have some elevated trough coming in off the west coast. Those are going to be in this, bring the heavier rains back into the coastal regions of the Pacific Northwest, along Washington and Oregon and portions of Northern California. And then we'll have that trough that comes underneath. So some of these showers will be added to those precipitation totals down here in south of California, but that will swing across. So most of this will be in the form of rain, but on the higher elevations, some of this will be in the form of snow across this region. And then going into that Thursday timeframe, that's when things start to get really active, especially east of the I-35 corridor, back into East Texas, heading into Louisiana. And yes, these areas desperately need the rain, right? I mean, they don't need the severe weather, but they definitely need the rain, especially in South Louisiana. They're going to get the rain. There's no question about it. So this is going to put a pretty significant dent in the drought, which is exceptional down here in this region across Louisiana and Mississippi, and heading into Alabama, especially into Georgia and the Florida Panhandle. Those are the most favored areas, but this lift is going to be lifting as far north as Arkansas, getting into Missouri, and get back into Illinois. I think all of this will be in the form of rain by then as temperatures start to warm up. But nonetheless, you start to get some beneficial rains even further north up into the upper Midwest, and that will swing across into the Northeast as well with 1 to 2 inch amounts as we head into next week. So guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video, definitely hit the subscribe button, and catch my next update where I protect you before and after the storm.